A very interesting conversation that I often get into out of my many conversations is the concept around salaries, concept around salary negotiation. And some individuals get to ask the question, what exactly is the salary structure composition in Nigeria? Many don't know because anything that has to do with salaries in most organizations is actually under lock and key. So as a result, many individuals don't even understand how salaries are created or at what point do they make an offer to a candidate or otherwise. But from a employee standpoint, I'm going to be shedding some light on that today. Welcome to today's episode of HR Insight, where I simplify human resource concept. Today, I'm going to be taking a forward into understanding salary structures in Nigeria. Seamless Payroll is part of a family of enterprise cloud-based software from Seamless HR. Seamless Payroll allows organizations to simplify and automate their payroll management system in terms of employee salary payment, remittance of statutory deduction, and managing other employee benefits. Check out Seamless Payroll at seamlesshr.com/payroll. So what is a salary? A salary is a passive what? Operational word is passive what? That is given in exchange for the value an employee brings to the employer. When we talk about passive what, no employer can pay an employee their full what. I think I need to say that again. No employer as it stands today can pay an employee its full what. So what they are giving in exchange for that job that you're trying to get employed into the organization to do is a passive what. And that passive what is a function of the value that you bring to the table. And that value will be demonstrated at the interview negotiation. So when you're going through a job interview and there are conversations that are going within yourself and the employer, your potential employer, they'll get to a point in that conversation that the salary negotiation comes up. But before they get to that point, the exchange of information at that interview, the conversation going on would demonstrate value in a certain way. And based on that value, some internal conversations would have happened even before that interview. We call them, in human resources, we call them job evaluation, which means they will have determined the relative worth of the job. They will have had an internal pay structure in themselves. So when you're having that conversation, what they are offering to you for the value you're bringing to the table is a passive what. So you need to separate yourself from the salary the employer pays you and your real worth as an individual in itself. And the value is usually demonstrated at the interview process. So after understanding that salary is a passive work, the next conversation is this. When you are now giving your offer letter, what should you watch out for? In order to prevent the conversation we had in an earlier episode on gross pay versus net pay, where I took my time to break that down, gross pay versus net pay, what is the difference between them? And I said always negotiate based on your net pay. Now, in order for you to be sure that the net pay is what the employer is giving to you, then you need to make a request for a salary breakdown. Now, let me say this. Every ideal organization will give you a breakdown if you request for it, even before resuming with them. The watchword is ideal. So the ideal thing is that there is nothing secret about it. Once they give you your offer letter and you see your amount, the salary there, either the gross amount, most of the time what will be stated in your offer letter will be the gross pay. But it is within your right as an employee to request for the salary breakdown. Now, in order for you to understand that salary breakdown when it's sent to you, I'm going to be getting into Excel and I'm going to use an example of a salary breakdown to help you understand what you should watch out for. This is an example of a salary breakdown. Now, most of the time, the salary that the employer would offer you would be broken down into various categories. It's critical for you to understand which of the categories is important. I'm not going to get into too many technical jargons, but I'll make it as simple as possible. The very first thing most you would notice is watch out for the word guaranteed. Now, never be deceived by so most of the time what you will see in your offer letter may be this is a typical example, 3,997,000. So the offer letter would most likely have it written that your annual gross salary will be 3 million XYZ. Now, watch out. When you request for the breakdown, this is what you're going to be looking out for in the breakdown. Out of this 3 million, it is not the entire 3 million that is guaranteed. This 3 million for most employer is called your total cost of employment, meaning when we bring this individual on board, how much are we spending on that person? That would involve a lot of things. The very first thing that you would not get in terms of cash is an example of an HMO cover. So an employer would procure HMO on your behalf. You will enjoy that benefit, but call it a benefit in kind. Another interesting benefit that the employee would enjoy that the employer would not pay to you directly is your employer pension contribution. Yes, there will be a deduction made from your own as the employee contribution, but the employer will match that contribution. Currently, by virtue of the Pension Reform Act, it is at 10% of your basic housing and transport. Some employers do more than that. Now, you would begin to see that out of this entire 3 million naira, that is the cost of employment, total cost of employment, the amount that is guaranteed is actually 2.4. Now, what that means is this: out of this entire 3 million naira that is written in your offer letter, if you do not ask for the guaranteed cash, you would have that mindset that your total salary is 3 million. You can now see the reason why you need to ask questions. Because out of that 3 million, you have a part that we call variable pay. That variable pay for some organizations that have it is not guaranteed. The reason why it is not guaranteed is because it is premised on a performance target. There would always be a condition to access that part. Then the other aspect is your benefit in kind. You're not going to be given that. You will enjoy the benefit. The amount would be stated in your offer letter for some organization, then your employer pension. But out of this entire 3 million, you would see and agree with me that only 2.4 million would be guaranteed. I'm just giving this as an example. Maybe more, the amount may be more than this or lower, but the most important thing is this: there is always that part that some job seekers and even HR professionals even make these mistakes, feeling that they don't need to show the employee the breakdown. It's part of what you should show them. It helps you to entrench yourself in the minds of the employee as a best place to work, because you are transparent about the salary part of the employee's pay, because they're even going to get to know. So it's better that they get to know before they make the decision. Don't let it be like a secret market that you don't get to know what you are buying. So the whole interesting part about it is to be able to enlighten you as an employee to say, you have a right to ask the question around the breakdown of your salary, so that you can avoid this is your gross pay, this is your net pay scenario, so that you will not be caught off guard, and you can know from the word go what you are actually getting into in terms of salary. So that's just taking a quick clue into salary structure breakdown in Nigeria. Peradventure you have questions, kindly drop your question in the chat room, in the comment section below, and we'll engage on this conversation together. Thank you for watching today's episode. Catch you in the next episode.